toilet.
Hold on, my watch won't start.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Something a little bit different for you on today's Frenemy Friday, of course, with Brian Larson. We're doing a gravel race, Brian.
What is this nonsense?
I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know what this is. Tell us about who sent this footage in, and tell us about the course for a minute.
Yeah, so Joe Little sent this in. I actually raced with Joe when I was like 12 or 13 years old, a long time ago. Took a hiatus. He's back. He's doing something different here. This is a technical gravel race, short little technical climbs and loose gravel, specifically loose gravel. There's some wind. There's a bunch of corners, as you can see in the map. But, you know, we don't need to talk about the course. Jeff, this is something different. How would you win a gravel race like this?
I have never won a gravel race, so maybe you're asking the wrong guy, Brian. But no, I'm glad you asked. Equipment selection is so important. I've done a handful of gravel races, and equipment selection is enormous, especially when it comes down to your tires, your pressures, your geometry on your bike frame. That sort of thing is what really matters, because that's going to give you all the confidence in the corners. I mean, we talk a lot about aero is everything, and yeah, I mean, it is when you're going 30 miles an hour at Boise behind the Legion lead out, but here on this course, they only averaged a little over 16 miles an hour. And Brian, what if I told you, this guy on the left, you guys may have noticed him already. What if I told you t-shirt dude on the left here, in sweatpants and Converse, is about to smoke all these fools?
I mean, I wouldn't believe you for a second, but this is gravel. This is the wild, wild west. So I don't even know what to think.
Okay, let's fast forward. Let's see how he does it. Okay, so we talked about how equipment selection in a gravel race, especially a technical hilly gravel crit like this, is so important. Let me show you a few examples why. We're gonna show some select clips throughout the middle part of this race, where it seems to me that Mr. Sweatpants and Sneakers, as well as Joe here with the camera, just nailed their equipment selection, and you could just tell by the way that they take these corners. I suspect a lot of the other riders are riding just too high a pressure. That was something that I was guilty of when I first started racing on the road, but also doing some off-road stuff, and that's just running too high a pressure. I think it's a common mistake when you're starting out in the sport. Low pressure is oftentimes faster, and it's usually lower than you think. We talked about the Silica calculator, which I'll leave another link down in the description. Super useful tool to kind of guide your pressure selection, but it also is the volume of your tire. On a course like this with loose gravel, technical corners, you want the biggest tire. So if you look at the way that Sneakers and the way that Joe are taking these corners, they're just head and shoulders above the other riders in terms of confidence, in terms of line selection, and just in terms of the edge they have on their competition. And it's not a bike handling issue. I'm not blaming these riders for having poor bike handling. It just comes down to equipment selection.
All right, so we're going to pick things up with just a few K remaining here. And, you know, I'm so intrigued by the t-shirt dude here. He's riding with conviction, with confidence, especially into these dicey corners here in the remainder of this course. And he's already slipping and sliding, going into what we already have called out as kind of one of the more technical sections of this course, where they've almost crashed on the lap before, and he's almost taken himself out in the process here.
And Joe too, you can see in the GoPro footage that he almost washed out too. But you know that Sneakers and Joe made the right equipment choice, and what that ended up giving them is this huge advantage through like the most critical part of the course. Like you said, the bottom of that hill, a couple of really sharp technical corners, and as a result they have this gap on the rest of the field. And can we talk for a second about how Sneakers is just standing up and smashing a ton of watts? Joe's a light guy, and Sneakers just riding away with him in sneakers without clips. What is going on, Brian? How is this possible? The dude is so strong.
This was silly, man. This was silly. I think Jeff, you and I would have had a blast on a course like this. Maybe we need to do a t-shirt race, Jeff.
T-shirt race, yeah. Let's bring out the Converse All-Stars, and let's see who can win the next gravel race. Anyway, Joe, thanks for sending in your footage. This is the way they finish right here, first and second. Don't forget, guys, if you have footage that you want to submit, there's an easy uploader link in the description of this video. Brian, great having you on, man.
Yeah, thanks again, Jeff.